A friend of mine posted a plea on Facebook who was contacted by a neighbor at first. Well, she said that somebody saw a dog laying lifeless on a neighbor's backyard. No food, no water, no shelter. This is 100 degrees outside, and she asked for help. My plan was just to go there and make sure the dog was okay. I did not think the dog would be dead, but so when we got there, the neighbor was washing his truck. I asked him, hey, how's it going? I saw this post on Facebook. I'm just coming to make sure the dog's okay. What made it frustrating was that he came out and jokingly said, yeah, the dog's dead, laughing about it. He hadn't checked on the dog in 2 days. So this dog was hungry, thirsty, again, no shelter, nothing for 2 days. There were people all inside the house. There was about 8 people who came outside that day. One of these people could have easily just checked on the dog. And as we're coming up to the house now, you can see that this is a beautiful neighborhood. Brand new fencing, somewhere you'd never think that something like this would happen.
Yes, sir. My name is Shannon Sims. I'm the Assistant Director for Animal Care Services with the City of San Antonio. I entered the field of animal welfare, unlike Jamie, only 5 short years ago after retiring from the United States Marine Corps. What I've been able to observe in those 5 years is that there are significant limitations to the law as it's currently written. Animals that have been chained for their existence tend to show a higher potential for being involved in aggressive behavior, so this also supports community safety, as we do see animals that get off of chains do tend to be more aggressive than a typical animal.
My name is Jessica Milligan. I'm an Assistant District Attorney for Harris County District Attorney's Office, as well as the Animal Cruelty Section Chief. And so really we reached out to THLN to try to help us write or draft or support a bill that might increase that punishment range. And only because I knew Shelby Bobosky from other things years ago was I able to kind of tap into her knowledge and expertise. And then THLN obviously took it and ran with it, and we were there to assist and testify and do what we needed to do, but couldn't have been done without THLN. There's no question about that. We were finding, as the law was prior to that bill being passed, the law only allowed us to prosecute individuals, even for felony offenses, which are our most violent offenses against animals, from 6 months to 2 years in the state jail. So sort of the 4th tier felony, the very lowest level in terms of confinement that someone could get for very, very egregious offenses against animals. And we were just finding that because of the correlation between violence against humans and violence against animals, that these people were creating these really bad situations for animals, hurting them in really terrible ways, and yet you could only put them in jail for up to 2 years. And you know that they still have all this potential to hurt other people, including children. And we just didn't feel that that was an equitable solution. So our office, and obviously your organization, we all felt that there was a need to try to increase the punishment range for those really violent offenders who were harming animals. At this point, when you look across the state, this bill gives us the tools that we need to treat it as a 3rd-degree felony, which means that it's punishable from 2 years to 10 in TDC. And obviously law enforcement agencies are going to take that even more seriously, because it does, as you say, I don't want to say give you more bang for your buck, but in reality, they might find it more worthwhile to follow, to investigate, if they know that they're really going to get someone bad off the street for a lengthy period of time. So obviously THLN is huge, because without you guys, we would have never had somebody on scene to write it, to find the sponsors, to lobby for it, to be there every day, to call us and tell us when we needed to come and testify, to get the bills of support. There's so many other things that we couldn't do on our own.
As I close my statements, I wanted to provide you an example of the types of chains that we frequently deal with. This chain was removed from an animal 3 weeks ago in the city of San Antonio. The animal was 40 pounds. 40 pounds. That chain weighs about 45 to 50 pounds by itself. The animal was largely immobile, had been on that chain for a long period of time. The issue that we run into, fortunately, this happened to this dog in San Antonio, where we had the ability to get him off of that chain. Now imagine there are thousands of animals throughout the state of Texas who aren't fortunate enough to have laws like in Plano, laws like in San Antonio, and the officers that are enforcing the laws in those areas do not have the capability to get those animals off of chains just like this.
A lot of the dogs here are just chained, no food, no water. day in and day out, every day out of the year. Sometimes we come and we find them dead, you know, just there. The owners don't even bother to move them. That's when we come and we'll get rid of them and, you know, properly dispose of them. And it sucks because there's been times where we go and they're just dead in the cage. You can tell they suffered, nails bleeding because they try to claw themselves out, no food, no water. And as you saw, we went to that house where we've already taken about 10 dogs from this person, and you saw there was more dogs right there. And one of the ones had an embedded collar, and that's an all too common sight here. A lot of the people actually love their dogs in their own way, and that's their way of showing it by just keeping them, which again is not right. You know, it's not what we consider love, but you know, there's addiction here, and that's what is the norm to them. I've talked to some people here and they said that, well, this is how we grew up. A dog was just an object, and to have him chained is normal. You know, it's getting cold now. People say, well, you need to put your dog inside. The houses here are not much better. The only thing we can do is try and do our best to provide some kind of care for the animals here. If we can't help the people, well, we at least can help the animals.